Praise the Lord. For more JJK content, it is time to refute another comment, and boys, we got an essay today. Let's get started. This commenter spent a large majority of their time trying to refute that the soul split katana is special, and this statement by them basically encompasses their entire argument on it. They say that the only ability of the soul split katana is to negate durability by striking the soul directly, and the next part, which is a byproduct of that, which can only be used by people who have soul perception, are the wounds that it leaves that can only be healed by soul RCT. They even say right here, the soul split forces soul attacks, while the user can use their own abilities like soul perception to make the byproduct of the wounds that can only be healed by soul RCT. So basically what they're saying is no matter who wields the katana, at its core, it'll always have the durability negation because it strikes the soul. But in order to make the wounds that can only be healed by soul RCT, the wielder also needs to be able to perceive the soul. And that is just blatantly false. This is literally the first statement on the soul split katana. It ignores the hardness of everything and cuts the soul directly. But in order to use it at its full potential, which is this, the wielder must have a pair of eyes that can see the souls of inanimate objects, so they must be able to perceive the soul. If you can't perceive the soul, you don't get this effect. And if you want proof, just a few chapters earlier, before Maki unlocked her perception abilities, she's fighting Curse Naoya, hits him with the soul split katana, you literally see the clash marks, and it does nothing to him. But then when Daido, a samurai who can perceive the soul, uses the soul split katana and that same curse, it damn near cuts him in half. And the panel right after, Maki reacts to that happening by saying, "What was that? When I swing my blade, that doesn't happen. What is it that I'm not seeing? The soul." She is not seeing the soul, and because she can't see the soul split katana might as well just be a regular curse tool. So no, the two abilities are not separated. You either have both or you have none. You need to be able to perceive the soul in order to cut the soul, and to leave wounds that can only be healed by soul RCT. The comment contradicts itself too. It says here that it allows someone who can see but not touch souls to do otherwise. That is all. So if you're able to perceive but not touch souls, the katana helps you cross that boundary so you can cut the soul. But you said earlier that perceiving the soul only helped you out in creating those wounds that can only be healed by RCT. It was the byproduct. So what is it? Do you need to be able to perceive souls to use the katana at all? Or is it only useful to create those wounds? You also kind of prove the katana being special with this statement right here that says most special grade cursed objects are created via the signature of a pre-existing technique or ability. So going off of that logic, that means there was someone that existed in the past who had a technique that could harm the soul directly, which could only be healed through soul RCT. And their technique was unique and special enough to be imprinted and turned into a special grade cursed tool. That does not now mean that current sorcerers who have soul perception and a curse technique can take on the properties of that special technique. That is not how it works. That's almost as if saying that anyone with soul perception who is skilled enough and has a curse technique can use idol transfiguration. That's just not how it works. And you just continue to contradict yourself as the comment goes on. You say right here that of all the times soul damage or manipulation was used, it was indeed non-healable by RCT. And in regards to Mahito's technique, you say regardless of how the damage occurred, the fact still stands that the outcome was unhealable. Using Nobara as an example, you say her face blew off and it was non-healable by RCT. But then you say later on that once soul manipulation destroys a limb, it's not like your soul is still out of whack to be healed. And you say Toto's hand could have been healed if it was possible. The fuck you mean if it was possible? It was impossible. What Mahito did to Toto's arm wasn't just destroy it. Basically, he rewrote and reshaped Toto's soul so that it didn't have an arm anymore. There is nothing to get back or be healed because for what it's worth, his arm as it existed at that time doesn't exist anymore. The only person who would have been able to reverse that would be Mahito because he could just reshape his soul to have his arm back. And I can't believe it, but in the same statement you say that Mahito's attacks are fundamentally no different from Yuji's, except Yuji's are slashes and Mahito's are combustion. I hate to break it to you, but you're not reading the manga, you're reading some sort of fan fiction. Just to remind everyone still watching, the only special soul ability that Yuji was stated to have multiple times was the ability to disrupt the barrier between Sukuna and Megumi's soul. He has no statements or feats saying that he does any sort of special soul damage or he does any sort of soul damage that can only be healed through soul RCT. And neither does Sukuna. Sukuna doesn't have those feats either. But you know what two things do have those statements? Well, yeah, it's Mahito's curse technique and the split soul katana. And let me make this crystal clear, for anyone that glazes Yuji and Sukuna's ability to hit and damage Mahito, you don't need any sort of special soul ability to hit Mahito. All you need is to be able to perceive the soul, the contours of the soul. There's nothing special about it. Hey, that's gonna be all from me though. If you've disagreed with anything I've said, leave a comment or 2 or 3, leave some panels, respond with a video of your own, try to prove me wrong best as you can. I'd love to have some discussion about this, but that's all I gotta say.